Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Crypto Space. In today's video, we are going to cover ICP, its recent price action, and of course a couple of interesting metrics for ICP, as well as tweets and news, and of course a couple of interesting altcoin charts too. So I'm pretty sure that you don't want to miss it out. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and a quick disclaimer that this video isn't a financial advice. And now let's hop into ICP itself. As we can see, ICP is currently trading at $14.27 and is currently experiencing a leg down of 3.3%, which is obviously bad because we are all expecting that price of ICP finally going upwards. But let's have a look into the chart shortly. Now let's have a look at market cap. Market cap is currently sitting at 6.5 billion USD, and 24-hour trading volume is currently sitting at 220 million USD. So let's first of all cover the news, and that is basically the photo of the team at the recent event at Divinity headquarters. So again, that is something good to see because we see those partnerships and those meetups are happening. So looks like the company itself is evolving, right? We also have to remember that ICP isn't some random meme coin that is going to pump out of nowhere, and that is just a company that obviously has to do a lot of work in order to gain that net worth, right? Now the internet computer will allow for secure attribute sharing between apps. Share only the credentials you select. So I do believe that is a very good thing because we will be able to pick the option of what we would like to share. So that is another layer of security on ICP, which allows us to share only the details that we want to share for our data protection. So that's good news. That is a blockchain battle comparison that's created by Bobby O. So shout out to Bobby O on X. And if we are going to look at what ICP can do versus what other chains cannot do, let's have a look at that. So obviously transactions, social media, messaging apps, music streaming, gaming, blogging, DeFi, BTC and ETH layer 2, email, RWA, gold and diamonds, data storage, and front-end hosting. As we can see here, none of these blockchains can really do these besides transactions, and of course they are slightly different. However, that shows the strength of what ICP can actually do, and of course that is going to take a lot of time, like the gaming, the blogging, the DeFi and all of that. Like I do believe that adoption is going to come, and it's going to come not necessarily this bull cycle. And the question is, do I expect higher prices for ICP? Of course I do. However, I do believe that ICP is going to truly thrive in the next cycle, but we're gonna get into that later. Internet computer is so undervalued and about to fly up to 10 points. Next stop $24 on the way to 100 after Bitcoin halving, then $250 in bull. And now the question is, do I believe that ICP can reach 250? Well, that will be around $100 billion. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's going to be basically 17x from where we are now. And I do believe that's possible. 100 billion USD market cap for ICP. Why not? Of course. However, the question is, am I going to wait for these prices to happen? Not really. I'm probably going to cash out earlier, and I'm going to let you know when. And now let's have a look at some numbers before we're going to jump into the chart. So the first things first, if it comes to ICP being staked, that's currently sitting at 47.6%. So we see a little bit of a difference between these numbers, because recently when I updated you guys about this, that was around 48, I believe. And if we are going to look at balance on exchanges for ICP, from 9th of March, we have dipped to 13 million ICP being available on exchanges. So that's good because people are buying up ICP. And now let's have a look at DeFi for ICP. So we are currently sitting at 33.1 million USD if it comes to DeFi on ICP. And as we can see over here, we do have that downwards momentum of TVL for DeFi here. So from 38 million, we went to 33. So that's around 5 million USD of a dump on DeFi. And now let's have a look at the chart finally. So as we can see here on a weekly, right, I know that many of you are complaining about the fact that ICP doesn't do anything and ICP is trash because it doesn't pump as hard as Floki, Dogecoin or Pepe. But we also have to remember that ICP is a real company, right? They are a true project that has lots of utilities, not like Dogecoin, Pepe and all of these meme coins. These meme coins are popping out of nowhere. Obviously they are driven by retail hype, and that could dump any minute. I'm not saying that ICP isn't going to dump any minute, but we do have to understand what is the difference here between projects like ICP and projects like meme coins, right? If I can even call them a project, that are just meme coins. So that's something very important to remember, I believe. But right, let's have a look at one weekly chart first of all. So I have zoomed out that chart over here to weekly to first of all look on what's going on. Okay, so let's determine what happened. We had that breakout from Wyckoff accumulation here, right? And we see those all-time highs as of 4th of March hitting $17 mark. So we have that accumulation, reaccumulation phase over here, right? We always have that pullback after that Wyckoff accumulation breakout, and now looks like we are gearing up for the next pump after that reaccumulation. And that reaccumulation has already ended for many alts, but obviously, unfortunately, ICP is running behind. Nevertheless, I do believe that we are going to see the breakout in the coming days. Anyways, let's move to the daily chart and let's see what is brewing on the daily chart. So as we can see, we are printing these higher highs constantly over here with a bit of a rejection over here from that resistance over here that leads us back to the previous cycle, and we have broke above that, but we been liquidated. Well, many traders most likely been liquidated on ICP, and now we see that pushback, right? However, ICP on the daily, it looks strong enough and looks like we are going to retest that resistance over here. So that is very bullish price action. And again, I'm not saying that we are going to see that price immediately, because we could see that squeeze. For example, squeezing over here, we could see another rejection, then pullback, and then we could see the final pump, right? That is also a possibility, right? So if we are going to look at the perspective of RSI, let's see how we are dealing on the daily. So if we are going to take that measuring tool, we can see that we've got around 50% to go if ICP would reach these levels over here of overbought territory for RSI. So that's going to be around, so if I'm going to draw 55% from where we are at now, that is going to coincide with, well, roughly, that is going to coincide with that resistance level over here. So do I expect ICP go into those prices? I do. All right, let's have a look at some charts. So first of all, Bitcoin, that chart was created by Stock Money Lizards. So shout out to Stock Money Lizards on X. And I would like to point out one thing over here. This cycle, current cycle, this cycle marks the beginning of something different. For the first time, Wall Street, traditional finance institutions are entering the ring, and they are currently buying everything they can. Mass adoption has started. And of course, that mass adoption hasn't started yet for ICP. It's coming obviously first for BTC, but that of course is great news, because lots of institutions are buying and a different type of money is flowing towards the markets now. So only because ICP is sitting at whatever dollars now doesn't necessarily mean that ICP is bad and is trash, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to, you know, put everything to Pepe, right? I do also believe that everyone should have a very divided portfolio in case of something like this happens. But anyways, let's move to this chart over here. So if we are going to look at upside potential for a BTC, we could expect BTC around 290,000 USD. So obviously that's very important to see what BTC is doing, so we can have a rough idea of what we could expect from ICP's price action, and of course different projects that you guys believe in. So if we are going to look at the bar perspective, right, in the cycle in 2013, that took us 41 bars. In 2017 cycle, that took us 42 bars, and 2020 46. So roughly 40 few bars, right? And if we are going to say that it's going to be 43 bars, that's going to be 301 days, we could see the top in January 2025. So even if ICP is going to pump after that, I wouldn't be surprised, to being honest. Let's have a look at alt season finally. So let's first of all have a focus on BTC's dominance, right? So if we are going to go back to the previous cycle in 2021, we can see that once a BTC touched that trend line over here, we had that resistance hit, and then BTC's dominance dropped significantly, and now we are experiencing exactly the same thing. So we could be on the verge of proper alt season, I believe. If we are going to see that rejection from that resistance over here, we could expect a strong alt season, and this is the time I believe that we can expect ICP to see much bigger prices. In 2017, total market cap peaked at 760 billion. In 2021, total market cap peaked at 3 trillion. In this cycle, even if we see only 150% growth from the previous all-time high of 3 trillion, we can expect total market cap to peak somewhere near 7.5 trillion. So shout out to the Scalping Pro on X. And if we are going to look from that perspective, how much of parabola do we have left, especially given the fact that we are before the halving, we can clearly see what could be one of the reasons why ICP isn't pumping yet. We of course experiencing that meme season on Solana blockchain and other projects too. And of course, ICP is a slow mover. And the question is, did I sold my ICP? No, I didn't sold my ICP. And of course, I would love to see ICP trading at much bigger price levels so I can exit my position in ICP and put it into some other projects. Here we've just left that reaccumulation zone over here for alts, and we've just entered that parabola. If we are going to look at the previous cycles, for example, right, we had that little curve over here, and after that we saw a huge parabola for alts, just like in 2016. So do you guys think that this is going to be different in 2024? We are just entering that parabola for alts. So of course, ICP is brewing for something big, I believe. Alright then guys, thank you very much for watching that quick ICP update. I hope that you have enjoyed it, and I wish you having a great day or evening wherever you are in the world. Peace and love, crypto.